Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be diving into another challenging mission on the VulnHub, which is Avengers Arsenal. I will put the link in the description section below so that you can download it and play it on your own. From my point, I think this mission is so fantastic because it will involve so many useful and important techniques, such as various types of encoding or encryption techniques. And also, I'm going to showcase another word list creation tool, CUpp or CUpp. I don't believe I have already demonstrated this technique or this utility before. However, what's more important, I like to show you how to exploit Splunk application. Splunk is one famous big data platform which can gather or connect massive or huge data. Without further ado, let's just get started. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel so you will not miss my uploaded videos. And also, if you like, you can give a thumbs up. This will help me this channel a lot. So now we can head over to Linux VM to begin with. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target machine. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be net discover. Alright, so the IP address of the target machine could be recognized as 253. We can note down this information to our notebook. IP address of my Linux is 103. So what shall we do next? We need to perform surface and port scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already done that before. So now we can get out its result. Let's scroll up a bit. So as you can see here, I took the options like scene scan, default script scan, the virtual scan, followed by the full range port scan. The last option of all is ON to output the result into this file. Then we can retrieve scanning results whenever, just as what I'm doing now. Although you can notice here, the IP address of the target machine has been changed as I re-imported the machine into the VirtualBox. So this time, different IP address has been assigned to the target machine. Anyhow, this will not affect our operation. From the nmap scanning results, we can tell the target machine has 1, 2, 3 open ports in total. Let's take a look at them one by one. The first one is 80. The service is HTTP or hypertext transfer protocol. And also we can get the version information, Apache 2. Even we can get to know this application has JIT repository, and we need to make use of some kinds of JIT enumeration tool like JIT hack or JIT dumper. The next one is 8000, and the service is also HTTP, and we can get its exact application information, Splunk. And from the information of the last port number, we can tell the last 2 open ports are related with each other. So this is I think this is the SSL version of this application of Splunk. So I think we can focus on one of them. For example, maybe this one. We can ignore the last open port. Okay, and also we can note down some major discoveries. We can copy and paste over here. And the second one, 8,000 Splunk. By the way, the goals of this machine is not only to get loot. We also need to retrieve. As you can see over here, we need to retrieve. We need to gather all the 5 mightiest weapons. Okay, and enumeration is the key. Although it's not so easy. And also we can get to know this first application has JIT repository. We can note it down as well. So now we are entering enumeration, and we can start from the first web application running on the port number 80. Let's fire up the browser to perform manual enumeration first. Okay, press enter. Oh, sorry, I need to refresh this page or refresh the browser. And Avengers Arsenal and some information, Captain America's shield, blah blah blah. Scroll down to the bottom, and also we can check its source code. We need to check its source code very carefully. Images section. Even we find this link, hyperlink, we can copy. I must admit, it's not so easy to support. Okay. And however, if you go back to the home page, and there is other 2 links, right? The weapons, and also this one. We got this one. So this looks like a blog, right? So Tony Stark. Okay, we can put it aside for a while. And also we can check to see whether this site has robots, and we find this or another directory from robots. Okay, and from source code. Also, just now we can tell from the nmap scanning, this application or this site has JIT repository and head. Of course, you can manually walk through all directories and the pages of the JIT repository, but I think it would be better to use specialized tool to enumerate JIT repository, for example, like JIT hack. Okay, but before we do that, I'd like to do some normal enumeration, for example, with Nicto. When we try to enumerate the web application automatically, I always start with this Nicto, because this one can enumerate the web application very comprehensively, not just directory enumeration. So even the nmap didn't or failed to discover this JIT repository, Nicto can find it as well, or can find it for us and find images directory. Let's take a look at this directory. Maybe I can use this tab to access. And there's several pictures. Most of them has extension of PNG, GPG. Hammer, This is also hammer. This is a dynamic picture. I watched this movie before. We can walk through all the pictures. But the last one is very different from others. This is QR code. You can use your mobile phone or you can use online tools to, to scan or to get its content. And I'm using my mobile phone to scan. And I can get to know the content of this QR code is this one. Spammimic. Okay, so what's that? Maybe this is the directory, another directory. Let me access this. And also this one, we can, because it's different extension, we can save this to our working directory. Avengers. So where is my working directory? Save. And I can try to use exif. Try to, this utility can review all metadata, right, of this picture or of this image. But nothing special here. And next, we can, of course, this one is another directory. Let's access this one. There is one file we can download it to, we open up. It looks like it's empty page. I think I've already encountered this sort of encoding, Spammimic. If you select all by pressing keys, Control and A, you can see, indeed, there is something in this page. We can copy and go to which site? Yeah, this one. No, we can. Yes, we can. We can paste in here and select decode space, decode, and we got this. This should be one of weapons to gather. We can copy. Okay, so next we can, what can we do next? We can launch gobuster to perform directory enumeration. Buster, let me autocomplete this command. If you have already followed my channel, you know I always follow my methodology to gather or enumerate information. I think this is the key to successful penetration. To see what else we can get from Nicto. So from this directory, we successfully retrieve one of weapons. And so far we didn't touch the first two directory or pages. So let me access this one. Glut. We can copy. We didn't. Oh, we find this one. Even, we didn't follow. We didn't. So where we get this Spammimic? Oh, we get from the QR code. Even you miss this step, you also can get this directory by, by conducting directory enumeration. Okay, anyhow, we can go ahead. So now we can access the glut directory. Press enter. We find this hammer.zip file. It's downloaded. So now we can move from downloads directory, hammer, to current directory. And to crack zip file, there are two major ways. The first one is we can directly use crack zip, and hammer. Hammer. If you use this way to crack zip file, we do not need to convert this file to hash a value. And also this is very efficient. Unfortunately, in this case, the Rocky word list doesn't contain password. What we need to crack or to open this file. Okay, to save time, I'd like to stop it. This is the first way, and the second way we can take another way. We can use zip to John hammers, and this can convert the zip file to hash value. Then we can launch the John the Ripper to crack it. Okay, again, because of the same reason, Rocky word list doesn't contain the password or correct password, so this will not work. And to crack this file, we need to utilize another import. Of course, to create a word list, we can use the Q command to create the word list from the web pages. Also, we can use the crunch. This one you can specify the patterns or rules to create a word list. But in this video, we have to use another important utilities to generate password word list, which is CUpp. Okay, and by default, Kali Linux doesn't have this utility installed. We need to go to GitHub to get it. I've already done that before. So now we can run Python CUpp, and to run this utility we need to get the original or initial information about the user. For example, the first name, last name, birth date. Actually, at the very beginning, during manual enumeration with the web application, we found this page, and it looks like a block. Here we can get the first name, last name, and also the nickname and the birth date. So I'm going to make use of this information to create word list. Okay, so first name is Tony, surname is Stark, right? Yes, Stark. And the nickname we can copy. And then birth date is this one, 01 2008. Press enter. So for other, we just leave the default. Okay, so now we have already created this password dictionary. Now we can use the John the Ripper to crack it again, but this time we can use this word list to crack it. Okay, because I've already done that before, so now we can use the John the Ripper with the option of show to review the cached password. So password is this one. So now we can copy, and then we can unzip this file. Okay, so now we can open up this file. Where, yes, Avengers, open up. Unfortunately, this PDF document is protected by passwords. No problem. We can use the similar to convert this document to hash2, and then we can use John the Ripper word list hash2, and we need to use the show option to to get the cached password. Okay, so this is the password. So now we can copy and to open this document without issue. Even this document contains the second weapon, what we need to gather. Okay, beautiful. Let's go ahead. So now we have already done everything about this zipper file. And so this one, and next we can have a look at this page. We can copy to see what it's about, right? We can copy and paste in here. This is the hex data. We can copy and use the CyberChef to decode. Very easy. And although this is encoded again, and we can use the command line to decode, and we can get this. It looks like this username and password we can copy, although at this moment we don't know where to use it because this target machine doesn't have SSH service running. So now we can put it aside for a while. Let's go ahead. So now I think there is one thing remaining to do to emulate, which is Git repository. And I've already got these two ready. Now we can go inside this directory. So now we can run Python git hack and followed by the address of the target, which contains Git repository. Let's press enter. It's done. And now we can go inside this directory, but only one file has been retrieved. Very weird, right? Hacking. So very weird, because we have to know this repository has a lot of things, right? So this means we need to manually walk through this repository, branches, config. Description, hooks, index. What's that? Exclude. Logs. Head. Oh, we need to go there. We can copy. We can clone from the GitHub. Clone this repository from the GitHub, right? No problem. Git clone. down. Let's navigate into this directory, and we can use git log a lot of commit. Breaker, hacking zoom, hello. But this one caught my attention most because of its status. Updated, we can copy the ID and we can use git show, and then we can get this encoded information. We can decode it with command line to see what it's about. So we got the third weapon. Beautiful. So now, what can we do next? We have already done almost everything what we can with the first web application. I mean, this web application is running on the port number 80. Now we turn our attention to the second web application, right? Let's access this port number. Oh, not this one. Oh, this is a Splunk. And just now, we have already got one set of credentials. So maybe we can use this credential to log in, right? Agent and sign in. To be honest, this is the first time I encounter Splunk, and we need to exploit this application. And how to do? We need to upload the web shell to this application. And I've already opened up this link, or this Git repository. I will put the link in the description as well, and then you can download by this link. Yeah, which one? Yeah, this one. After you download it, and we need to upload it. So where no apps, I show you how to do. We can manage apps. Manage apps and install app from file, and we can browse, upload the downloaded shell, Splunk shell from GitHub. Okay. Oh, I haven't done it yet. No problem. And so how to do? And I can copy link, download it now, because it's not big. I don't think it will cost so long time. So now we can move from downloads directory. Now we can upload or install this Splunk shell. Okay. Upload. And we need to restart the Splunk. Yes, I'm sure. So restart successful. Close this dialog and redirect to the login page, agent, and the password. Let's copy and supply in here, sign in. So now we can go to the search. Or we just list the manage apps, and let's scroll down. Yeah, this one is our uploaded weaponized Splunk or the shell, we need to enable the permissions. We need to apply selected role permission to all apps and save. And we need to set up the listener on the Kali Linux. And so here, as you can see here, the usage, we can run commands. Depends on the type of the shell, we can pass STD or MSF. I'm going to use the easier or standard shell by netcat rather than Metasploit. Okay, so I think we can copy and paste in here. So this should be STD, IP address of Kali Linux, port number 5555. You can copy and go to search and click search button. And then, as you can see, we have already got the shell, web shell. But this shell is not stable. We cannot run a lot of commands. For example, if you run which Python and try to, spawn interactive shell by Python, this shell will be down, bash, or even dead. So I'd like to connect it again. We can spawn another shell. Okay, we can go to Pentest monkey website. Let me copy this reverse command and to replace the IP address of attacking machine. But of course we need to apply different port number, and we can set up another listener waiting for collection. So now we can copy this reverse shell command, put in here. As you can see, it's much better. Although there is some problem with Python. For example, Python 3 is there. However, if you run this command to get interactive shell, you will get error. Okay, but it doesn't matter, right? And what can we do next? So far, we have really got a very big step. We have really got initial foothold on the target machine. And what we are going to do next, we need to gather information. We need to try to, make privilege escalation or make lateral movement, right? We can go to home directory, Arsenal, SSH, cannot cd to this directory, no problem. And what can we do next? And we can, of course, ID Splunk. I don't think this user has very high privilege. So let me run, maybe, of course, we can go to opt directory. We find this file. What's this? We can copy. So what's that? We can copy and also this file. We need to transfer this file to Kali Linux to see what's inside. since we cannot run Python to set up web server on the target machine. So how to transfer? No problem. We can copy this file to root directory of website. Let me copy and go to var HTML. So now we can go to browser to download. Okay, and because by default Linux cannot view this file, so instead I'm going to use online service to view this document. We can upload. It's done, and then we can get another. Maybe we can copy. I don't know. Copy. Can we copy? Let me put over here. Okay, it's done. This is the fourth weapon we have already retrieved, we have already gathered. And this one, what's this? The owner of this file is root, and very happy to see this file has SUID bit on, and we can use a file command to see what it's about. So this is the Linux executable, and we can run it. From the output of this binary, we can guess this binary is actually executing command rfconfig. So I think we can create our own rfconfig command to elevate privilege, right? So how to do? Let me go to temp directory, echo, and rfconfig. We need to make it executable, but also we need to change environment variable path temp current directory original path variable. So now let's run this ignite to see what will happen. ID, as you can see, we have already become root user. So beautiful. Then we can get the final flag, and the final flag contains the last weapon together. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye. Have a nice day, please.